Hi and welcome to our OSSLT video series. Today we're going to be talking about the short answer test tips. Okay, so let's start off by looking at the rubric. Your short answer question is going to be worth 30 marks. You will get 0 if you leave it blank, obviously, if your writing is illegible, or if you're so off topic that your answer just doesn't make sense. The way to attain those 30 marks is to make sure that you have clearly read the question and you are answering it with specific details, that your answer is well structured, and that you have provided relevant ideas and information from the reading selection or from your own prior knowledge, if applicable. While most of the short answer questions are out of 30 marks, there are a couple on there that are out of an additional 20 marks, so totaling 50. It's not indicated which questions are worth 50 marks, so this extra 20 marks comes from this rubric for use of conventions, including spelling, grammar, use of punctuation, and so on. There are only a few key strategies that you need to know in order to be successful on this type of writing task. We're going to highlight the key words from the topic that we're writing about. Then open up your notepad to brainstorm your ideas. When you're writing, use the acronym APE to remember what to write. A is for answering the question by restating it. P is to use proof or examples to support your opinion. E is for explain. How did your proofs support the main idea and have you answered the question? Let's practice with a personal opinion short answer question. Alright, so let's start with our short answer question here that asks us to suggest improvements that could be made to our school or its grounds, and then specific details are required to explain why it would be improved. And as with any good strategy for test taking, take your highlighter and highlight the keywords. Next, we're going to use the rough notes section to brainstorm any ideas that we have in order to answer this question. So we've come up with 3 things, and then we've also got some subtopics there that we can build our response on. On the paper to pen test, you will have 6 lines to fill for each of your short answer questions. So here we're going to remember to use the strategy APE. We begin by answering the question and using words from the actual question in our topic sentence. Okay, so we filled in our paragraph using the details that we were brainstorming about a few minutes ago. And then if you have room, you can write a concluding sentence, but it's not something that's absolutely necessary. So let's just look at the APE strategy in this level 4 code 30 answer, okay? The topic sentence is there and it answers the question. The proofs are in the middle and they're the details that we brainstormed about. And then the explanation is there in the last sentence that connects it to the main topic. The other type of short answer question that you will be answering is one that's related to a reading that you have just read. In this case, we are looking at why it's appropriate to describe a map as the treasure, and you need to use specific details from the article. So we're going to go through and highlight those details in the article itself. You can make reference to specific paragraphs in your answer, and then brainstorm as before and use the APE strategy in much the same way as you did in the personal opinion question. Once you're done highlighting, go ahead and brainstorm in the rough notes section of the test. By the way, this section isn't scored by the markers of the literacy test, so don't worry about anything you write in there. It's just to brainstorm your own thoughts. So then you're going to go ahead and write your short answer response. So using the APE strategy, you can see that the topic sentence answers the question. And then you can see that there are specific details provided and a reference to a paragraph number as well to make sure that the marker knows that you have to relate this to the reading. And then there are some more details provided and there's a concluding sentence here as well. If you want to practice these strategies yourself, then feel free to go on to the EQAO website and check out all of the resources they have for the OSSLT.